guys, it's Celicia Peterson from Cornerstone Real Estate Professionals. I just wanted to talk about another hot topic in today's market, and that is what happens if I have to sell my home in order to buy a new home. Now, this is a very common concern, especially right now when your current home has a ton of equity on it and you want to roll that equity from your current home to your new house. In that case, reducing the principal or the loan amount on your new house and helping you out with payments there. So I'm going to go through a couple of the solutions to that problem that we're doing, and hopefully this will help you out a bit. So the first and the most common way that we handle a situation is making the sale of your home subject to you acquiring a replacement property. So this kind of makes it open-ended. You do put a deadline on it, on how much time you can use to find your other home, but you have your buyer of your current home tied down, and you potentially know how much equity you're going to have and how much you're going to be able to spend on your new home. So you have some of that peace of mind going into it. However, you do have to disclose to the seller that you do have a home to sell in order to buy, which could potentially weaken your offer depending on the situation. But when it's under contract, the seller of the home that you're trying to buy would be so much, there'd be so much comfort knowing that you already have the home sold, you already know what your equity is, you already know what your qualification level is, and then they're more apt to move forward with your offer. So, second option is to leverage. Now, this is a really popular strategy within investors that kind of understand the reason why it's important to buy real estate, and typically sooner rather than later when it's appreciating so quickly right now. So you're able to leverage your equity on your home for the purchase of the new home in forms of a line of credit, for example. So like a HELOC on your property. Other people have been able to tap into their whole life insurance policy. So this is a term, this is whole life, which is an entirely different conversation about different investments that you can do. But you can pull some of that liquid cash out of there to the down payment of your property. And then when it sells, you just pay that back again. And the same thing for a lot of retirement accounts. They won't penalize you if you're pulling the money out temporarily for the purchase of a home. Another popular thing that we've been beginning to do this year is to rent the property back again after you sell it. When you have multiple offers on a property and you're looking at all these offers as a seller, and you're narrowing it down, one of the things that you could potentially counter back is say, hey, I want another 2 months in order to look for my other home and finalize the purchase on my other home. Can I close on this transaction? You can lock in your good interest rate, Mr. Buyer, and then I have 2 months, 1 month, whatever you agree on, to move out to the new home and to continue to look for that new home, get another home under contract. That's becoming more common than not. When you're on the buyer side, you have a month, sometimes 6 weeks until your first payment is due. So it's not really costing you anything other than a little bit of interest, but it's giving the seller a lot of peace of mind and comfort in that regard. So where it's a seller's market, you have the power, definitely something we can counter back with. Another item that we can do is a flexible closing date. So we can put into the contract that we're going to close sometime between date number 1 and date number 2. That way you can be a little bit more flexible on acquiring a property and knowing where you're going to go, knowing what your numbers are, and those sorts of things. One of the cool new things that are coming back and being resurrected in this market is called a bridge loan. So you're able to get a loan on the equity of your current home and then to go towards your down payment on the new home, which is really sweet. So you're able to carry one with the other. You're not having to disclose to the seller that you have another home to sell. It's not contingent on that home selling. And so it's beautiful, the timing of how it all falls into place. It rarely has to actually make the payment on that middle loan. And if you do, it's interest only. So that's a beautiful solution that is kind of a different concept to people understand. So feel free to give me a call. I'll refer you over to one of my lenders who can explain that to you. It's a very niche program. So you got to find, there's only one or two lenders that I know of that's able to offer that. So that is an awesome solution. And finally, my favorite one is just see if you can double qualify for both the homes. Now this can be a really, really scary thing for some people. They feel like they're going to get stuck with two different payments, but there's definitely advantages to that. You're able to move a lot slower. This is really, really popular with people who have situations. They have mobility situations that it's hard for them to get the house cleaned up to sell, or it's hard for them to get out and for the showings and accommodate. They might have dogs or in those sorts of situations, or work a lot. There's lots of different scenarios where that comes into play. And it might need a significant amount of work before we put it on the market. We can see that with just a couple $1,000s put into the home, we can get tens of thousands of dollars back when we put it on the open market. So if you're financially able to qualify for both loans, we go ahead, we purchase the home that you want, and we close on that. And then we spend the quick time, get it fixed up, get that one on the market. If we can do it within a month and a half, then you won't have to pay for those double payments, or at least one or so. It's usually pretty seamless, and we can make things happen very quickly. And I also have a lender, one of my preferred lenders will do what's called a recast loan. So you can take the equity when you sell your primary residence, then you can put that back on your loan, and it will reduce the actual principal that your amortization is off of versus just paying down the loan. So it's awesome that you're able to take that equity, put it down on the new home loan as planned, and you are set. So these are awesome ideas. I think it's really fun how you're able to, once you get into your initial home, how you're able to continue to move up and roll the equity from one to the other. And in a lot of situations, you're able to flush out your payments when we're talking about paying off student debt, paying off cars, credit card debt with the sale of the home in order to buy one. So that's what I'm going to talk about next week, is the ways that we can make financially work. I often hear, where am I going to go? The prices are going up too fast. Why would I sell now? Why would I move up now? Because I can't find anything to go. So we can totally handle that problem. I can explain the numbers. I'm going to get a lender to help me out to give you more hard numbers so we can have some visuals. So go ahead, let's tune in next week and we'll talk about that. Have a good day.